And I've been so close and haven't been there.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the October meeting, Detroit Area Woodturners. For those of you
Turn
who are
on video,
today, or maybe new to the club, I'm Jeff Walters. I'm the president, at least till the end of the year, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. To my Zoom folks who are zooming in today from all over the world, howdy and welcome, and we're glad you're here with us today.
But turn on your
go through today. So I do want to say to the folks on Zoom, if you've got questions, please put them in a chat, and Chuck is going to watch the chat window for us. I'd like to welcome any new members and guests. If you're here for the first time as a guest or as a new member, if you could stand up and introduce yourself. Hi there.
Steve Vine, I've been a member for a few months. The first time I've ever come, though. I've met a few guys that came through the shop.
Well, welcome.
Oh, did we lose audio?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'll text Chuck.
Oh, someone muted him. So he'll have to unmute himself so we can get audio. Yeah, and video.
Well, right now, all we can have is the best of both worlds is a cage show.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just sitting here doing some wood burning on bowl.
Ah,
So, well, there we are. So, might not recognize me. I shaved the other day too.
but you look so much younger. You look like some kid right out of the freshman year of university.
I know. That's why I don't shave too often.
You get carded too much?
Yeah.
When you were younger, when you soon got old enough, you were so proud of it. When you get older, you want them to ask.
No. Like, why'd they stop asking? Yeah, for sure.
I have fun when I go shopping and need to pick up some alcohol for mixers. And this person who could be my granddaughter, can I see your ID, please, sir? I got to make sure you're over 21. I'm holding up to your grandfather. But they got a security camera there, and if I don't ask, they dock me a penalty fine. Okay. And I say, can you calculate how old I am by looking at the date? And she got it wrong on 4 times, so she couldn't do math in her head.
It's all calculators nowadays.
Yeah, I just
yeah.
I'm just texting him. I sent a thing on Zoom, but he obviously they're not seeing it, so I'm gonna text them.
Well, maybe they lost a network connection because from them, as long as the network is holding the Zoom conference open, all the other members are part of it because it's somewhere in, somewhere in the cloud. That's where the Zoom computer is. So our connections are in a cloud and we're still tied to it. They have to log in again and take control.
Yeah, I just sent him a text via phone, so
That should work.
yeah, it is.
I've got a bunch of TV production stuff that I've had laying around and I hate to go scrap it, but I was asking last week if they're interested. I used to do a lot of stuff. In fact, I got listed on a Pulitzer for what I did on the Alaskan pipeline. But that's 4 lifetimes ago. And I got listed as one of the 26 other in the other categories.
Did Jay make it? I wonder.
Okay,
right away.
Jeff Walter said, okay,
So-
they're working on it.
And you're
so-
not gonna have to do as much stuff as I've had to
They're
do.
there.
I'm gonna keep a lot of the functions.
Well, we
like
got
the video
audio
work
now.
and stuff like that. So you'll just have to worry about running the club. So, vice president, we're looking for a vice president. Oliver,
I'm willing to step up and do that.
awesome. So in November, we'll do the official nominations, okay? Come to the November board meeting, which is the second Tuesday of the month. I'll have a link for you. I'll send you an email with the link. Okay? Thank you, Oliver. We're also looking for a person to be in charge of video. When we were at PCAC, Paul handled that, and Paul's got a lot of stuff going on now where he's not going to be able to do it. So we're looking for somebody, basically you're in charge of getting the video set up here, and you always got helpers. I mean, it's like we came in here today and everybody just started grabbing the lathe, grabbing the video pieces and everything, and putting it together. So we just need a person to make sure that happens. So it's an appointed position. So if you're interested, also let us know on that. Any questions about the elections?
Are there any presidential nominees yet? Or?
We have nobody stepped up for president yet. We are looking though. It's also getting that time of year, getting a little crisp out. And so that means Christmas is right around the corner. So in December, we're not going to have a meeting. We're going to have our usual Christmas party instead. It's going to be a fun event. Bring your spouse, bring your family. And it's going to be an hors d'oeuvre thing. Bring an hors d'oeuvre to pass. And we certainly wouldn't mind if you brought some dessert goodies, Kelly. So that's going to be December 12th, the second Sunday of the month. The Christmas challenge, since Matt is going to be doing Christmas ornaments in November for our demo, we're not going to call it the President's Challenge. We're going to call it the Christmas Challenge. And the challenge is to bring an ornament that you've turned to put into our competition. And we have three categories. We have beginner, which is up to 3 years of turning experience, intermediate, which is 3 to 10 years of turning experience, and expert, which is 10+ years of turning experience. Yes, sir.
In my communications with Cindy, she has said do gnomes and or Christmas ornaments. So I'm gonna do gnomes too.
Okay, so gnomes are part of it. And really anything that you consider an ornament is viable. So if it's Christmas, yeah, anything Christmas or holiday related. So it doesn't have to be something that you turn and hang on the tree. No. I've been wanting to like crazy to try to recreate one of those in wood, one of those old ceramic trees that people used to make with the little inserts and the light on the inside. I keep saying I'm going to do that, and I haven't done it yet because I haven't figured out how I'm going to hollow it. Huh? Okay, very good. I've got the little light bulb inserts and all that stuff, and I figured the LEDs on the inside. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So, because apparently those are classic now. You can't get that anymore in ceramics. So they're selling them for like $200-300 online. So, we're also going to have a gift exchange, and as in the past, you got to bring a gift to get a gift. So, you know, bring something if you want to get something, and it can be turned. Just make sure it's something new, not something old that's been sitting on the shelf or anything like that. We had that problem when you're at my Magic Club meeting and got some really bad junk in there. We've always had phenomenal stuff. I got a Christmas ornament last year that it was an urchin ornament that Chuck turned for me. And that's been hanging up in my living room ever since I got home last year with it. It's a beautiful piece of work. So that's the way the gift exchange is going to work. So any questions on the December Christmas party? Okay. I've had a lot of calls from people on this, which surprised me since it's all on YouTube and out there in the internet. But Alan Stratton is having his annual ornament challenge again this year. He's made the official announcement, and you can find the announcement on YouTube under Alan Stratton as Wood Turns. But the way it's going to work this year is they're going to have gift cards for the winners. Now, I'm assuming the gift cards are going to be for wood turning or wood turning related stores. Discount codes for participants. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a certain number of participants or everybody. He doesn't really say, but gift cards from various vendors that he deals with. And they're going to have 3 clubs this year. Now, if you don't know this, we won last year for the most number of entries from a club. So give yourself a round of applause. And we had some incredible stuff in there. So I would like to do that again. And what you get from it is a free IRD from Alan, which I think we did February of last year. We did it on a Saturday, and it was fantastic. He did Inside Out.
Someone found the camera.
So easy. Anyways, so Alan Stratton is doing it again. It's during the month of November. So if you want to find out more detailed information and the rules and so on, you can find it at ornamentchallenge.com. And I'll make sure that gets up on our website, and I'll include it in my post-meeting email out to everybody.
I've been quiet
Any
because I've been
questions on that?
texting Chuck back and forth, and he's got it all set up now. so
Okay,
we're
as I
good.
mentioned, November, Matt will be doing our demo for us, which will be Christmassy turning. And at this time, Paul Neuberger would like to speak to us. If you want to come up here, Paul. Just watch out for the cord, my friend.
No problem, I'll stand in front.
Well, you got to be on the camera for our Zoomies.
Oh, for the Zoomies,
Yeah.
okay.
Show your smiling face, Paul. Your smiling mask.
Okay, I was approached by a gentleman from the Shirtikva Men's Club, and they're doing a empty bowls program this year. So I'm asking everybody if they can make a small bowl. I'm talking 5 to 7 inches in diameter. A year ago, we did Raleigh Lockhart with the leaf bowls. If we had 30 or 40 little leaf bowls, they would be incredible. I'm thinking of doing a couple of an oval bowl. Maybe this one of the states, the Union, could be made into a bowl other than Michigan, because that's already been done. But if we can do 30, 40 bowls for this organization, they donate the money to one food bank every year. It could be Iridescent, which is the kosher food bank, because it's a Jewish organization. They've done Gleaners, Forgotten Harvest, St. Pat's. So they don't care where the money goes as long as it goes to a food bank. So if we can come up with 30 or 40 bowls, small bowls, that'd be great. Mr. Matt, question.
What happens to the bowls?
They get sold to the congregants, and the money goes to a food bank. And they usually throw several food banks into a hat and pull one out, and that's where it goes.
What's the date?
I don't know when they're actually going to do it, but I told them that I would bring it up at this meeting, and I'd like to have some bowls to give them next after our November meeting. So small bowls. I'm not talking. You can have them that are left over after. If you remember, this guy here, what does he always say, Mr. Ray? You can't be a bowl turner till you've turned 100. Believe me, one of your hundreds would be fine. And
You wanna bring them here, Paul? or-
yeah, bring them here. I'll collect them and then take them. So
Next month again? Next month?
Next month would be fantastic.
Okay, 2 questions. Number 1.
Answers are $9.95, correct are $10.95.
Correct answers are more.
Now I forgot my question. Oh, can you send an email to Henry with some information to put on our website?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, other question. You said leaf bowl.
No, you can do anything.
Okay,
But I said we had Raleigh do the leaf bowl, and I thought, how much more fun would it be than to have 15 or 20 of these leaf bowls show up for this? I mean, they're easy, they're quick. You can do them in an hour, So that was something I thought of.
and we do have the workshop for that leaf bowl is on our website.
That's right. It's in the members only. So, but you could even cut an oval out on your bandsaw, put it slightly off center, and make a bowl. It'd be just something different, and you get to experiment with this. And it's gonna be sold for a fortune and go to a food bank.
Thank you, Paul.
Sorry, it was more than 3 minutes.
That's okay. We'll talk to you about it later. Okay, are there any questions or announcements from the peanut gallery before we move on? Yes.
When Ray is demoing and people are doing things up there with the show and tell, please do not talk in the audience because the people on Zoom could not hear last month with all the side conversations going on. These mics pick up everything, and the background noise made it impossible for people to hear.
Yes, Mark.
Anybody that doesn't have a name tag, got them over there on the stage on the left-hand side. And I'm here to collect any dues money if anybody wants to start giving it to me to renew your dues.
I have raised.
All right.
I'll give it to you when you get started. So, okay, any other questions or announcements or anything? Yes. I believe that's the 30th, Saturday the 30th. And I think there's only a couple hour time frame that they're open. I will check with them. Thank you for reminding me. I will double check with them and I will get an announcement out on that. So I'm hoping everything sells and we don't have to pick
Can you
anything
hear
up.
me?
The pickup at Start Weathers from 10 till 2 on the 30th.
On the 30th.
Last time we did this, somebody collected everything.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes.
That was the empty bowls.
No, that was a start.
Oh, really? See, I don't remember the last time we did start.
Can you all hear me? Hello?
Okay, anything else?
I
Yeah, I
can.
got a question.
Yeah, I can hear you. They don't have a headset.
Yeah, I know. Chuck's
They
supposed
need
to
a
be
headset.
monitoring.
A Bluetooth headset. That way they can walk around.
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah,
The
Amazon,
mic will pick you up.
Okay,
that's where I got mine.
on our website on Facebook, I've listed a couple things for sale. One of them is a complete set of metal spinning tools. Anybody wants to get into that? I have 35 aluminum discs that come with it. And I also have a lathe that was made in 1886. It's a little lathe. If you do shows or something, you took it with you, it's got a treadle on it and it actually works. It's a nice conversation piece. I got that for sale.
Remember seeing that on Facebook? That was cool. That was cool.
Huh?
Yeah, it's 350.
A few years ago, metal spinning was really huge. PSI was pushing it big time. And now I don't see anything on their site. Yeah, and so, okay, anything else? And without further ado,
I
I'm
can
going
tell
to
them
bring
why
up our demo
PSI
for
had to
today.
go out of.
It's our
and
dear
stop
friend Ray
selling.
Frase. And he's going to show us how to make a simple bowl. All yours, Ray.
Thank you.
OSHA shut down metal spinning because too many people were getting
How
hurt.
you doing? My name's Ray. I've been turning for a long time. I've probably mentored most of the people in here. We've got some new ones up here, and I don't know if Steve's still doing it or not, but if he's not, I could just give me a call and I'll get you in my place and give me 15 minutes with you and I'll have you turning, guaranteed. So with that being said, I'll start off. I'm going to take my hat off, and I want you to keep an eye on this hat because there's a Marine in here, and he came up. I was doing a demo one time, and he said, "You're going to think about me on the way home." And I was driving home, and I'm looking in the mirror. What the heck is he talking about? And I took my hat off, and it said, "Wouldn't you rather be a Marine?" So
That's disgusting.
I thought it was perfect.
Okay, we're gonna start out with a simple bowl. Okay, when we're turning, you got your tree like this, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna saw it in the middle, saw it in half. So once we've got this,
Cool.
we're going to,
What kind of lathe?
Move that a little closer to the tail stuff we talk, so the camera can show up, please.
For the Stratus or
that
Delta?
piece there. Yeah, move the wood toward the tail stuff.
The wood that you're drawing, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. All right, we've had some real accidents in here on the bandsaw. We've had some really serious ones. And a bandsaw, to me, is one of the most dangerous pieces in the shop. And in my shop, I usually do all the bandsawing when anybody's over there. But you've got this cut like this, and we've got to cut it round. And you can't put it in like this. It's got to be like this. So what I do is I've got a bunch of these made up. I've got it from 6 inches all the way up to 30 inches. And we put this on here, and take a hammer, we knock it in, and then we cut it on the bandsaw like this. It's just the safest way. You're following this edge all the way around. Can everybody see that? And it's just a safe way. It's the way you should do it. It's just yeah, yes, perfect. So with that being said, we'll put both of these in the raffle or whatever anybody wants them. Okay, we're going to start out with just a plain bowl right here. I've already made it round. So I'll go through the deal here with us. And
Cool.
Anybody got any questions through this or whatever? When we're turning for you new people, this is the bowl gouge. It's got a bevel right here. It's got a fingernail cut. And what we do when we're turning up here, is this showing, or it's, oh, we don't have that.
Where do you want it? You want overhead?
Yeah.
If you want, okay, you're overhead.
Okay, this is the bevel right here. And when we're turning, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the bevel, and we're just riding along, and the pointy end is what we're gonna cut with. So basically that is it. We got it about 600. Well, I forgot. Got this between centers. And the way I took, like Paul, the last guy was up here, I started Paul out. And we always placed it between centers and then put the chuck in and turned it that way. It's a screw up here, and that's what we use now. It's the safest way. You put a screw in here, and that goes back in, and it hooks in the chuck back here. And it's just the safest way. It will not come out. And the way we get the size, I've got probably 9 or 10 chucks, so I've got 9 or 10 different screws. They're all different sizes. But I checked my deal up here for, well, I got this for drill sizes.
Reset the camera.
I'll get this one up here and I'll find the right drill size. Then I go to the drill press and I drill a hole in there in the center. And I screw the screw in there. And then the screw hooks, it's made for the chuck. It just hooks right in the back here. It's perfect, and you're not gonna get in trouble. It's just a good way to do it. So. I gotta tell you too, I haven't done a demo in a year and a half, so I'm kind of
Doing good.
As you can see up here, I'm riding the bevel. There is absolutely.
Chuck, change to overhead, please.
Yeah, it looked like the camera was frozen because they got to reboot the camera.
It is so simple.
Unplug it and plug it in again.
You give me 15 minutes with you and I'll have you turning, guaranteed.
You had overhead and then you lost it again.
Yeah, but the camera itself is holding, the computer is holding the picture that they set it up with.
Gotcha. I'm just talking to Chuck. See if he can get it fixed. Thanks.
Hey, Ray,
Yes, sir.
what tool are you using and are you turning down?
The bowl, I'm going downhill
Okay.
in just a regular bowl gouge, half inch.
Right, is that dry wood or is it dry?
This is wet.
Oh, that's wet.
Yep. And I'm a green wood turner. I always have been, and I do a little bit of dry, but most of it's green.
Okay.
And then I dry it out and I'll get into that a little bit as we get a little longer down the. Okay.
I just talked to Jeff. They're having problems with the overhead camera. They're trying to get it fixed.
And that cut I just used is actually, it's called a push cut. And there's only 2 cuts in turning up there, and everything else is a variance of those 2 is a push and a pull. So here's a pull cut. This right back here. Yeah, I'm not using my arms at all doing this up here. I'm just using my body. It's kind of like your wife teaching you how to dance. You just. Always turn your tools off, or your machine off before you use your tool brush, before you move it. You'll learn. I usually keep setting my speed till the machine starts vibrating a little bit, and just cut it back a little bit, and that's my. This is just a plain old push cut, right in the bevel. I have a little bit bigger lathe than this. We'd probably be done now.
Right.
Yes, sir.
What grind do you have on that bull gouge? What grind do you have on the bull gouge?
It's an Ellsworth grind. Yep, I like it. It's just it's good. It's simple. Just keep things simple.
And for us newbies, what's the difference between an uphill and a downhill? Is that what you just said before? Something?
Yeah, downhill, it's like I'm pushing downhill,
Okay,
and uphill would be just the opposite.
You're cutting down the larger radius, just smaller radius.
Yep.
Okay, Zoom people, we're only gonna get a side view. They're having problems with the other camera.
See, I'm turning. I've got the tool into my tummy. And I'm riding the double right here, and I'm just doing my body. And if you're turning up there and you're having some kind of trouble, just do the machine by hand, and you'll see you'll figure it out. So. Okay.
They're trying to reboot, so please hang in there.
Yep.
So you always want the tip of your tool in the center. You don't want it down, you don't want it high. Okay? And they got a lot of people, because of the mass, they say you should start out here. And some people say you should start in the center. I come to the conclusion it really doesn't make any difference. My tool, if my tool was a little sharper, I'd be throwing. I used to do that. I remember when I told you when you started out to hold the tool into your belly. And if you're doing up here, hold it into your belly, just use your body. Now we're in the center, we can't do that. Because otherwise I'd have to have my leg up over the top of this, which I've seen people do. Ellsworth.
Your live center should come out, you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Turn yourself.
I'm going to move the tool rest in just a little bit. This wood is birch, and it's really pretty. And both of these will go over there in that have a wood over there too. All of this will. Now when I'm turning, before I had my hands like this, Now I got to put my arms like this to get in there and turn. What you're doing is you lock your body up, you lock your arms. So and basically we're doing the same thing. I see how I got my arms locked up. I'm just turning my body. You just can't go wrong. Perfect. It's simple. Turning is simple. If we're in here, we're going down, and then we're going to come around. As we're going down and around, we're going to turn the tool. And when we hit the center, the tool is going to be this way. And we're starting out like at a 45. This is a side scraper, almost like a round nose scraper. Round nose would work. It's completely round. I kind of like it for bowls. Just stick it in the center. And nothing happens. I've got the wrong edge on here. Yeah, I got the wrong cut on here, so we'll just leave it like that. So basically that is it for that. And you're going to get 2 for 1 here. I like to start out.
You already turned the outside.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I made them both round. Yeah, no. Yep. You're very observant. Be a good Marine would have caught that, but.
I believe we did.
Okay. Here we're going, basically the same as we did the last time. We're shaking the bowl. Yeah, I'm just moving my body. I'm not moving my arms at all. A little bit of a full cut. We'll look halfway around. That's my tools too. I've got all my tools. I just sand this part off a little bit so they don't roll off. I'm gonna do it without that. Some people look at these and they say, man, how'd you do that? You know, and it's just so you just turn the piece of wood around and it's going in from the bark side. And that way we're going to leave the bark on here. And let's go up here. Always. How am I doing?
Sign change.
Well, I had a nice round edge on that, so we'll have to do it again. Rolling right around there. See what we got here. I didn't do it. They want to go right straight into the front. You always want that tip right in the center. You thought I was going to turn it on, didn't you? Yeah, we got that bark. We're going to take it down to right about here, probably about, oh, I like under a ½ inch. And some people like 3/4 or whatever. But they're just, it's no harder than making a bowl, just a regular bowl to make a natural edge bowl. Hold my arms way out. The last demo I did like this was the Metro Carvers. Periodically, you want to check your chuck and make sure it hasn't loosened up on you, because you're smashing the grain, especially with wet wood up there. You're going to end up with that going this way. You're starting it up like this. As you go in, you another thing on your natural lead bowls that I make them like this, you'll always have a little chunk will fly off or something like that. And I keep a torch underneath my lathe. And when I get done like this, then I take the torch and I just burn it. And where it came off, you can't see it. It just blackens it. And go around when you're done, cut it one more time. You take all the black off that you put on it, and you look like a hero. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys got the pretty close. How are we doing on time?
You're good. We have a question in the chat room. How do you avoid making a funnel?
How do I what?
How do you avoid making a funnel?
Making a funnel?
Go on your way through in the bottom.
Well, that's never happened.
I think the answer is pay attention to what you're doing.
I haven't gone down all the way. I could go farther, but the Lord's given every one of us a set of calipers right here, and you just. Well, people have just.
Pass them around.
And, yeah, thank you. You guys are just a super audience. What do I do?
Watch sport.
I missed it.
Ray, what do you do for drying the bowl?
What's that?
How do you take care of drying?
Okay, dry the bowl. I have the wax over here that we have, and I really wax them up good. And I let them set. I like to let them set for a year. And most people will do it in about 7-8 months, and you let it dry. Yes, ma'am?
Have you tried the microwave thing? Have you tried microwave?
Yep, I do some microwave, but it's only on really small stuff like Christmas ornaments or something. And it's turned like 3/16 to 1/8 of an inch thick. Otherwise, yeah, and you can do the microwave. Mike is real good at doing microwaving up there, and he's done some big bowls that I've seen that really come out nice. But basically, I like it just for the small stuff.
How do you like putting it in the shavings in a bag, waiting?
That's another way of doing it too, and it's a good way. And up until we come up with the anchor seal, that's the way I used to do it. I put it in I had a big old box just full of shavings, and I just put them in the bottom and let them stay, and it works really well. But
They used to say the wall thickness should be approximately 10% of the
Yeah, yeah,
width of the bowl. So
Yep.
if it's a 6-inch bowl, maybe 1/6, I guess. 5/8. 5/8.
yeah, yeah. I like all my stuff is usually about 7/16.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it ends up to. I just always, you know. So, yes, sir. It's just like a bark that goes around the wood. Yeah. And yeah,
It's in the gallons back there, and what it does is it allows the moisture to leave the wood real slow.
Yep.
The reason wood cracks is because the heat or whatever, it'll make the wood and the water leave the thing real fast, and then you get cracked.
Yeah.
But that anchor seal, like Ray said, he paints it all over it. He's got it for sale on the table for a gallon.
Yep. And
It'll last you forever, a gallon.
it was, hey, and like Jack was saying, you can put this all in a paper bag and put it in there and throw it up on, but I do a lot of turning, so any you guys see my shop, I've got a whole crazy,
Look at a year or something like that.
Yeah, you want a year. And actually, I've done stuff that's gone 3 and 4 or 5 years, and it seems like it's even better yet. But we don't have that much time.
Especially if you're doing shows.
Yes.
Does the room temperature have to be a certain temperature for the?
No.
You go down from 30 degrees to 70 degrees?
No. But you'll probably like 70 instead of 30. And I can't be cold and turn, so yeah, I just.
So stand there like this and you're frozen.
Yeah, oh, exactly. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. That's the place where I'm at in life. Yes,
So
ma'am.
then when it's all dry, is that when you finish it?
Well, we're gonna put it back on the lathe again and return it.
It'll be,
And when it's dry?
After it's dried, it's gonna work. It's gonna do all kinds of weird stuff. See, that's why you want it right there. It's a little bit thick, but we're gonna return it and then sand it, and it'll just be a beautiful thing.
So there's less cracking on green wood than if it was hard, dead wood when you first turned it?
Even deadwood's green. Even you find something out there that's been out there 20 years down, and you put it on a lathe and you start turning it, it's green. It's wet, it's full of water.
What's the advantage over green over? Oh.
The green's easy to cut. It's easy to turn.
That's just the easy.
Yeah.
That's like it.
Yeah, and all that wood's out there. You're driving down the road and there's gonna be a guy cutting a tree down, and walk over there and just ask him if he can have some, and he'll be glad to get rid of it. Absolutely, he wants to get rid of it. If you need wood, you get a hold of me and I'll take over the pullout, and my son's got enough wood to fill this whole building. Yeah, just tons of wood, and we will fix you right up. Like I say again, if somebody's in here and they want to tune up, or you guys are just starting, get a hold of me, we'll get you over to the shop and we will have you both turning. And it'll be another nice lathe, just like this one.
any questions on Zoom?
Thank you. You guys are a good audience.
It doesn't matter.
No, you're still on.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Ray. Ray is the one who taught me bowl turning. And he's right. In 15 minutes, I was turning the bowl and I was just blown away by what I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm at about 1,200 right now. And I do a lot of utilitarian bowls, and that's what sells at the shows that I go to. And so it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And for those who had questions about returning after a set for 5, 6, 7 months, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that show you how to second turn, return, or whatever a bowl, because you got to get not pushed up against here with friction and a tailstock, then you got to make that tenon round again. Then you can turn it around and you can, and it's a little bit of this for a while, but yeah, that's joy of it. And there was some talk about drying and microwave. I've had a lot of luck with dehydrators. Thank you. Had it for a year and I don't even know what it is, but I've had luck with that. The trick is to put it in there, you don't want it to be over 15% humidity. Or moisture. I found if it's over 15, the bowl will crack because it's too fast. Get rid of moisture too fast. But I've had some luck with that. And it was like 120 bucks at Costco. So, and I do a lot of my spindles and stuff when I get them. I don't know where they came from. I put them in the dehydrator overnight just to make sure they're dry. So. Okay, I do want to say if you haven't seen our door prize table, we've got an incredible amount of wood over there and some really cool stuff. So if you haven't bought tickets, buy tickets at break time. Thomas is sitting right over there willing to take your money. And so what we're going to be doing next is President's Challenge, tool review, show and tell, and the door prize. So that's what's coming up next. But first, we're going to take a 10-minute break. There is a unisex bathroom down here next to the kitchen through that door. There's also a men's room right outside the double doors here, and the ladies is around the corner if you need that. And don't forget, there's coffee and goodies. So let's take a 10-minute break.
Yeah, you can tell he wanted to go faster, but like he's just a hit, or just like and it goes through. Wait, that's Jeff. I'm sitting there watching.
I use mine. You guys want to come over here? I use mine. Okay. So I might start like this with the tip, but then if I want a good clean cut, I'm going to cut it with this on one side, I'm going to cut it on here. Okay. I'm going to roll it. This is down outside. That's why I like so you can come back the other way. You know, if for some reason you're getting tear out, this is tear out here. You can do so this is so instead of straight, thank you. So this is the straight. If you're going straight into the wood like this, it's coming like this. The edge of the tool is perpendicular to the way that it's straight. Nothing wrong with it. That's how I rotate the tool like this. That angle is how you change it. And it was you're slicing the wood fibers. So get a feel of the scrapings. But I did a good very clean. So this tool, so my I'm getting a sheer straight this way. And if I roll the tool edge into it, I would be getting so it's work. So that's a sheer strip. And I can come back the other way. So that's one of the things that and that's why another one. I do it. I drink bars. So one of the things I do. So I will curve my plates like this. So with that tool, I can put it on because I can put it on just roll the tool for the cut. So you know, I can get a shear. Those videos are Talking about doing these. You can see this in here. It's a little torn out right in the very middle. That's essentially coming right straight into it. And you do that as the brain very subtle. The brain will turn off. So the cut line that starts up here gives the same angle all the way through across the back. And you don't have that problem. I don't know if I can demonstrate that successfully or not. We'll see. It's not around. So it's warts. It's right here. So that cut starts off like this. So I'm riding the double. The double arc is on the bottom of the wood. Yeah. I didn't tear it out from the bottom. I mean, that's work that much. It's birch and it's sopping wet. It's really wet. Birch and what sometimes the cut won't go straight across. Sometimes your cut will come around like in an arc like that. You know, so you're coming around like that. Intentionally or by okay. So you're trying to, you know, some people is trying to get a shortcut all the way across. Okay. As this comes almost to the center, the angle that the wood is coming in is changing. Yeah. So that's why you're coming up here and circling down, arcing down to the center. Is I'm cutting right here on the tip, right there. I am trying to keep the same shape, right the devil all the way to the bottom. So I work on that with every cut.
Yeah, so we started out with that 3 carbide, you know, the round diamond, which is, I said, so these can get a lot of stuff done, but you see everything is there's a reason.
I want to tell you a story about straight, those are straight buttons.
Easy with tools.
Yeah, where 3 carbide scrapers.
Yes.
Where these are cut.
These are
My son, my grandson, probably 15
Wait, are you the Marine? Should I believe this?
I'm a Marine. Wow.
Be careful, next month is birthday. You're gonna hear about it for months off.
Yeah, they're right. He was a lot of Marines in the school. Little chickadees for his grandmother and his mother. Those are cool. I let him make 2 of them scraping. And then I showed him how to cut. He said, "Oh, I like that." It's so much nicer when you cut. I wanted to comment. I think you're the one that asked about cutting uphill or downhill. Yeah. This one, well, with spindles, you always cut downhill. Okay. Because your grain runs this way, so you always cut down. Okay. But on a pole, it's not that easy. But what you have here is a bunch of wood grain fibers that are sticking out like that. If you cut this way on this piece, they break off. If you cut this way, they come. Yeah. I see what you mean. And that was, I didn't think you explained it real well. Yeah, I didn't understand why. That's why in this case, you might be saying you're cutting downhill, but you're not. You're cutting against the grain on this one, so you're cutting uphill. Even though it looks like downhill, it's against the grain because you tear out, it lifts, and then lifts before it goes through.
undercutting this way. He showed me the fibers are supporting themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So what you have to do, or I do this like this. I will cut this way. So you want coming straight in because I find it easier to shape it. And then I'll come back. Usually I come straight. I know, that's fine. But, and that's what you do, that's fine. That works. Just the program is doing this. You don't get, if you come in the middle like this, you tear it out, right? But if you come across like that, yeah. And that's how he was showing you to do the undercutting too. Is you start way over here, and you start undercutting like this. I'm gonna shoot shade and get shade. Oh, I'm safe. There's the edge of the bowl. One thing I'm gonna get hit by is the bowl. So it's soft. That makes all that pressure. Same thing right here. Going this way. We're done. Yeah. So then this one you want to. So what I would do if I was turning this is do exactly the same thing. I come in here, and then I take that scraper that set what the sharpen right, and I come back the other way, so I'm with the grain to clean it up. I like shaking generally against the grain because it's more comfortable. But unless you want to sand it forever, you got to come back with the grain.
Can everybody take a seat, please? We're ready to start up again.
I'm not using this one.
I can't hear you.
We're gonna go to Euro.
Yes. Chuck's the one who makes the arrangements, so you might want to mention to him that I got to bring home food for dinner tonight. Oh. Can everybody take a seat, please?
He's not the rest.
Okay. Am I on camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Is record on? Is record on? Okay, very good. Okay, everybody, welcome back. So what we're going to do next, first off, I meant to mention this earlier, and I didn't. But if you don't already know, our own treasurer, Chuck Labato, is now the treasurer for the American Association of Woodturners. So let's give him a big round of applause. Oh, well, it's good enough for us.
That's all the praise you're gonna get, so.
Okay, let's do the President's Challenge. Let me get out my handy dandy number picker. That's not it. We had a total of 6 people. Chuck, do you have the thumb drive there with the pictures?
I do. I'm about to run it.
We're going to quickly show the pictures to our folks that are zooming in. And I'm going to go ahead and get this set up.
So this one is Ben Shipman.
First one's Ben Shipman.
Yeah.
When we get our projector, you'll be able to see those too.
The next one's Dave Meyer.
Dave Meyer is the next.
It's a walnut rolling pin.
Yep.
Next is B. Glenn McCullough.
Glenn McCullough.
A bunch of matched ones. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Next is Mike Foyel. 4 rolling pins, looks like some maple and a walnut.
Yeah, and honey locust.
Honey locust, yep. And it was like 4 rolling pins. Next one is Up Calls I Believe by Rich and Magnet. They Up Calls Rich or?
Yeah,
Up Calls.
yep.
Nice. And he has a Allen Laser skew showing this like this one in the picture. Next, we have 2 from Ron Coleman. So one appears to be a dough cutter or something.
The second one is another angle of the same. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so 6 people total. I've got 0 through 6 set in my number selector, and let's go boom, number 5. The winner is Glenn McCullough. Come on up and get your $10 certificate so you can spend $300. I got some tools I need, by the way. Okay. So that takes care of those challenges. Next is the Facebook challenge. We had a total of 21 people post on Facebook. And let me. That's not letting me do it. Okay. Try this again. 21. Number 16, Cindy Yates won the second one. Cindy is Zooming today. We'll make sure she gets that, or if the number, if she just wants that, to order it online. So Cindy Yates is the winner of the Facebook challenge. Okay. Got all the way. Get this. Hit my notes. Okay. Anybody have a tool for a tool review that you want to show us? Something new or something you get a lot of use out of and might be something unique? You have? Okay, come on up.
Someone asked about making a funnel. Well, I made these years ago that I used to see the wall thickness or the bottom thickness. And the reason I got this like this, I can get right up in between the chuck jaws, and I can, right now, the bottom of that bowl is from there to there. That's how much space I got. Now, if I want to go from the bottom of the tenon, I could do that again, but right now, you got a good 1.25 inches to take out of that bowl after it dries. This here comes flush with there, and it's flush with there. And it's just a piece of brass with plywood. So this is for larger bowls. And once you got this there, you make this hit the edge there, and then wherever you go on here, that's how thick the wall thickness is right now. You can buy these for metal ones for like $39 or something. This is probably $3 or $4 here, so easy to make your own.
If you want to show this that you made.
You want to pass it around? This here is the skew chisel that I made probably 15 years ago. The club used to be able to get this steel from a place on Rochester. I don't know if they still have it anymore, but high-speed steel. And Alan Laser's DVD, which is, we have both of them. We have the skew chisel and the son of skew DVDs are in our library. And if you follow the directions on the DVD and just, you know, I looked all around and I found zirconium discs that I could put on a grinder And that really takes the steel fast. So I was able to, you got them round the bottom here so that when you're doing things, you can roll the skew chisel. And there are certain degrees that he wants this to drop down from your point here. This is the heel and this is the toe. And anyway, that's my own, that cost me $3 for that piece of steel. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else got a tool? Okay. So next, if you've brought something for show and tell, if you could go get it off the stage and bring it over here, we'll have you start lining it up over here. And then everybody will take a turn and show us your latest creations. Yep. Okay. Let me mention that too. While everybody's getting their stuff, I do want to mention, if all goes as planned, next month, Jack will have the camera box and everything set up so we can start taking pictures again of everything that's brought in and getting it on our site. So. Okay, and when you bring your item up to show everybody, make sure it's right in this area so that our friends on Zoom can see it. Okay? Come on up.
Okay, so last meeting, Jay showed us how to make a French rolling pin. I've made one before with regular spindle gouges. So this one I made for my wife. It's a uniform thickness, kind of a reverse style rolling pin. And basically you put the dough in underneath here and you roll it on your countertop and you actually get an exact 1/8 inch thick for like butter cookies, that kind of thing. So when she saw this, she asked me to make another one. I'm going to make another one for a little thicker for 3/16 of an inch. So anyway, that's what I made.
Good idea.
Real quickly.
Yeah.
Stay right there. Somebody, it looks like somebody bought a couple face shields, the replacement shields, and they left them setting over here. So if that was you, please go see Ray. Okay.
Okay. Mine's not as functional as the dough roller, but you know, I was trying to learn how to do segmented stuff. I made a wedgie sled, which I found on the internet, and man, it really makes a difference because it really makes it easy to glue up the rings. And so it's yellow heart and walnut, and it was my first big segmented piece, and that's it.
Sign the bottom of that.
How did I sign the bottom? Well, this was a disc, but normally I have access to a laser engraver, so I have my signature and then like I'll put the date in the wood and then zap the bottom of each one. What? I belong to the Canyon Tool Shop.
How do you do the inside?
The inside, this, believe it or not, there was no steady rest. This was just on a chuck and I hollowed the inside, but I did it in sections. So I glued up like the first 3 or 4 rings, did the inside, glued the next section on, and then just kind of finished it once it was all together.
How many pieces are in there?
It's 13 rings, and I think there's 16 segments on each ring.
Wow.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a piece of box elder. This is actually a branch, and the reason why I use the branch, if you know, box elder usually has the figure all around, close to the bark. In the middle, it's plain wood. So if you use a branch, you're gonna get the figure all the way around it, and that's what this is. In fact, you can see the bottom, that's where the pith is. And so what I did with this one, I hollowed it about a year, maybe 14 months ago, and it's been sitting on my saw for a while. Finally, I decided to finish it. Because it's so long, I had to modify my Jameson rig, and I used a 1-inch bar instead of the usual 3/4, because it's hanging so much overhead, it's gonna start vibrating. So with that 1-inch, and I use the little hogger, which is a small, about a 1/4-inch diameter, but it's turned on a 45 degrees, and it's a beauty to use. It cuts really, really nice.
And that's how I use that one. The inside is finished the same like the outside. And I got about, I don't know, 18 or 20 coats of lacquer finish on this. And there is no buffing or nothing. I'd like to use the satin. I don't like gloss that much, but that's how this showed up. But what I want to mention is that if you want color, try and use a branch, because being small, you're not wasting a lot of it, and you're making use of all the color that's around it. If you look in the middle, actually there is no color. The color is all the way on the outside, closer to the bark. So that's one. Oh, by the way, you can see where all the bugs went in. You know, where the color is, there's all the bugs all the way through. Where there is color, there is bugs. Yeah, it's something. This is something I've been playing around with. It's called Iridescent Paint. It's from Joe Sonia, and they have about 5 or 6 different colors. And the way I apply this is, first the background is black, sprayed black. I use a satin black, because if you use a gloss, I found out that when you put the other colors, it's gonna, like when you put oil on water, it's gonna accumulate in one area. But with satin, it doesn't do that. And then I used, I believe I have 3 or 4 different colors, and I use what I did with this, I put the paint with a paintbrush on. Then I use ceramic, the cling foam, and I put it around and I move it around. And then I take it off, make that into a ball, and I can change it around and change the pattern as I want. And I got, this one has polyurethane on it. Again, there's about 15 coats most probably of polyurethane gloss. This was Bob Selger too. Yes.
What did you say about ceramic?
It's Saran wrap. You use Saran wrap, and you make it, turn it into a ball, because it doesn't have a smooth surface. You can there's different ways. You can apply it by just dabbing it. You can use it by dabbing and turn, so we get those swirly marks. You can actually dab it and pull it out. So you can do any pattern that you want with it. That's why it's
So
nice.
when are you doing the workshop?
Pardon?
When are you doing the workshop? January.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do one on January.
I'll be at your house.
Yeah.
Make sure
So-
somebody knows that.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Thank you, Alfred.
I got the biggest one here, the biggest toy. Gregor. So little music box. The music box, when you are just holding it, almost no volume at all. They played Wonderful You at my father-in-law's funeral, so this one doesn't go anyplace. But it's just tiny, it's very simple, easy to make. You can buy the movements on eBay for a couple bucks, 12 of them for 15, something like that. But they're just simple little boxes, and then a little offset turn to get a slot in there so that the volume comes out. And this one is unfinished, and that's the way I wanted it.
This is a Chinese urn. It's the body's made of ash. The handles, the finish on the legs are made of maple. The finish is Rust-Oleum satin black spray. The inside is spirit stain yellow, and by carrying the finish up along the top edge of the bowl, when I put the top on, I get that contrast. So that worked out well. But the real challenge was getting everything registered. So it's on the machine, and that most of the headstocks have an indexing feature. So you can set it for 120 degrees or 180. And I modified a tool rest into a platform. So I was able to lay the legs and the handles on the platform. And by putting sandpaper on the bowl, I was able to rotate the bowl and transfer the contours of the bowl onto the legs and the handles. So I wasn't sure I was going to come out. I kind of did it, seat of my pants. I knew the techniques that were available. I wasn't sure about the execution. So I'm pleased with the way it came out. Any questions?
Really good. Got a couple of things here. Fox Elder, but I've been trying really working on my hollow forms and trying to get this, you know, even walls and everything like that. And this thing just came out perfect. But then I was buffing it, and maybe you got some of you guys got an idea. But if you look on this edge right here, there's some buildup that started building up that wasn't there originally. And I don't know what it is. I've got a couple of people say a couple of things, but if anybody else has any suggestions of what that could be, if I just didn't sand that area that well, but I thought I sanded the whole thing pretty well. But I don't know.
Could be the finish.
It was Danish oil, a couple of coats of one coat of Danish oil, and yeah, that's what Alfred might have thought. Maybe it was coming from the other side and rubbing over. Yeah. And this is just a couple of pieces of wood that somebody gave me a long time ago. And the reason I brought this in, if you can tell me what that bottom is, because I have no idea what that is. I've gotten a bunch of, I'm not sure, and one walnut, black walnut, but I don't know what it is. But it just, I had these laying around for a long time, and I almost rounded this off, and I just decided, because 3 sides were already cut at a different angle, and I just shaped it that way and just turned it into this. So very good.
It's just table decoration, yellow heart, black dyed veneer and maple. It's a dodecahedron and semi-gloss lacquer finish made up of 12 pentagons, makes 12 stars.
Well, that kind of blew my thunder here because I have a 10-sided flat beer mug and no. This is a 10-stave beer mug made out of cedar. I got it from Lowell Nat. The reason I brought it in to show, I have a couple other things, but the reason I wanted to share this is because I turned the inside round and then I made the handle, but when I finished it, I didn't like the way the handle looked. I wanted it upside down. So I put it in the vise and I just thought I'd snap this right off. The whole inside came off with it. So if you're using JB Weld, make sure once you put it on, you're not taking it back off. Or I probably could have cut it right here and made it a lot easier. But anyway, I got to refinish it on the inside. I did sand it and down, but I need to refinish the inside. But it came out really nice. The grain is beautiful, and I ended up buying some more from him, so I'm going to make a couple more of these.
Why don't you have on the internet?
Oh, thanks. Okay. Appreciate it.
Then you got a question?
So you are actually able to drink out of it?
Oh, yeah, it's got stone coat art inside for cold only. But then I have a coffee mug I also made that I use to heat with resistant epoxy resin, and I use it every day. It's good.
I want to maybe get other people's thoughts on this. I've worked with epoxy resin for a few years. And, you know, it says food safe and some, but then food safe really means if it's an orange that has a peel around it, it's not the orange segments that are touching the epoxy. And so there's been a lot of controversy. So whenever I sold anything that might have food contact, I always had a disclaimer: the FDA has not approved direct food contact. So that's why I'm concerned about stone coat.
Well, when I saw the mugs, because I made a bunch of my own as cold serve only. So not to put hot in the art epoxy, but I use the heat resistant epoxy. And say I use the coffee mug that I go. It's I've never had any.
The stone coat make the heat resistant too?
They do, yes.
But it's not a matter of not being a good product, it's a matter of being unsafe because it's epoxy and FDA has approved the direct contact. So, and also, if you ever have any issues with stone coat, I don't know if you guys are left it, but they've changed their formula on some of the stuff. So there's something they were bought out by somebody else, and the new owners apparently changed the formula in one of their products. So if anybody has any issues with their stone coat, it might be the reason.
So this is a piece of honey locust that Holly was giving away last month. So I decided to turn an end grain bowl and finished it with Danish oil and then buffed it on the inside. On the outside, I took it outside, took a torch to it, burned it quite a bit so I could get the texturing. Then I took a wire, brass brush, cleaned off all the ashes, and then I chose to try to do dry brushing. The first color, I didn't have the brush dry enough, so you can definitely see where my initial strokes were. Then I figured it out afterwards. So that's what this piece is. Then this piece of box elder, what I did was I turned it, and then while it was still on the lathe, rotating it like 500 RPMs, I took my Merlin 2 with the chainsaw blade that they've got in there, and as it was like this, I held it very steady and then moved back and forth while this rotated to cut the texturing in it. Then cleaned it off with a brass brush to get all the fuzzies out, dyed it black, then took some of the Chromacraft Vertigus, the green, and I wore my rubber gloves and just put them on my fingers and then just lightly brushed it across so that it would only go on the ridges and not in the grooves themselves. Then after that was done, then because they still had the tenon on, I cleaned up the edges, turned it over, and finished the bottom.
This is very similar to one I brought last month, only this is like 120 pieces of red oak and Paducah. And these are decorative vases. What was I going to say? It's kind of interesting. I learned from Dave Warden here, just the bottoms of these things. I made a bunch of these things, and the bottoms, if I make them segmented, they always split. I've got 4 or 5 out there. When I made them segmented, they split. And I think it was Dave Warden I was talking to earlier. And he said if I made them out of 6 pieces, they wouldn't split. Because like if I made them out of, the number of pieces here is 24. So I made out of 24. A year later, they'd be all split, so. And I don't do the nice thing that other gentleman does. I just leave the inside undone. And this is decorative bowls, so it takes a lot of time. Now I'm going to, these are 12, and I'm going to go 24 pieces. And somebody was talking about the wedgie sled, and that's wonderful. That makes it, otherwise it's almost impossible to cut these segments right. And without the wedgie sled, you're always adjusting to make these rings fit. With the wedgie sled, you cut them and it can glue them up immediately. So anyway, I don't know where I'm supposed to put this. Over there.
Okay. So our next meeting is going to be November 21st, which is actually the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And we'll be back here. So we're come to the point now where Tom.
President's Challenge for next month.
President's Challenge for next month. Turn a simple bowl. Thank you. I always forget that, don't I? Yeah, turn the simple bowl. That's the president's challenge, and I'll have that in my post-meeting email also. So this is Thomas's favorite part of the day. He's going to take over. In the meantime, I need help from everybody to get chairs put back where they belong, and then we're going to need some help from some folks to get things cleaned up here and everything like that, so we can get everything put away and return the church to them as they gave it to us. So thank you very much, everybody. And for those of you who haven't done this before, Thomas calls a number for every ticket purchased until he runs out of stuff. So there you go. It's all yours, Thomas.
Actually,